Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Yeah, show her some love like she showed us. That's for real. One of our sponsors. Welcome to the Bo and Joe Show, where everything is an adventure. But first of all, our fearless TB12, which is Tom Brady, super fan, Joe, is not with us tonight. Everybody send out your prayers. She had a little minor accident. Keep your fingers crossed. She tripped and fell. I think she was on her way to the gym or out of the gym. And so she is she's on the injured reserve list for tonight. And we do wish her well. She sounds like she's in good spirits. So she hurt her elbow. So let's hope it's just a sprain and not a fracture or a broken bone or anything like that. So she's entrusting us to hold the fort down. And we have a special guest, G3 George. Thanks for stepping in. Now, he was planned to be a part of the show tonight anyway. And so we felt enormously comfortable with him stepping in because he's also the creator and the host of his own podcast, The Dueling Aces. So he's a professional at this. Welcome, George. How you doing, brother?
Well, I wouldn't say professional, just getting a little bit better at it.
Aren't we all?
Or week by week.
Hey, aren't we all? Aren't we all just getting better at it? Hey, Crispy Bacon, if you have the ability as our producer, there's a gentleman, one of my alumni, who is, his name is Randall S. Craig. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. Look him up and send him the link because I'm gonna give him a shout out. He's an author as well. Randall S. Craig. He just sent me a text saying he didn't get the link. So if you can friend him or find him on Facebook, he's definitely part of my group, my friends. Send him the link, and so he can chime in. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well, folks, this is what media is like, right? This is what being in the media industry is like, right? You got to fly and make adjustments when these situations happen, right?
Yep.
So as a coach, right? Making those adjustments is important. So we'll get into that. And one of the reasons you're a guest tonight, because we really want you, and before, we'll get to it, but I just want to give people a layout of what the program is going to be like. We're going to start with G and talking about his team that he coaches. He's an assistant coach for defense. And we'll get into that, and then we'll roll into a few items like Aaron Judge, Albert Pujols, if I'm saying his last name correctly. And then obviously we're going to wrap up with the NFL. College football really didn't have anything, George. If you think there is something, last week wasn't anything worth talking about, right? Maybe this week.
They're still playing high school teams.
Yeah. So there was no big games last weekend. There were more big games the first weekend, which is the way they wanted to schedule it. So, but we'll roll into the NFL because there's lots to talk about there. So soon as
only take a minute and 37 seconds.
No, I want you to talk about that you have a special player on all your players are special, but you have a special situation where you have a female player on your team. I think that's incredible. You get a chance to talk about that experience. There could be somebody out there who has a daughter who wants to play contact football, or a female out there who wants to get involved in reffing, and may be a little intimidated regarding how they want to get involved. So your expertise and your experience will come in handy. So we'll talk about that. And so initially I was going to start off with promoting 2 books, but I'll wait till 9:30 to make sure Mr. King is on the program and Dr. Felton is at least viewing the program. And Mr. King is not going to be on the program. I want to make sure he's viewing the program. So let's get started with G and your incredible team. First win of the season. The floor is yours.
Yeah. It was intense. I mean, no joke. We went down, scored first, then they came back and scored 2 unanswered. And next thing you know, we're sitting at halftime down 16-14. And just for the second, and I even told the kids today, hey, for the second straight week, we held them to no points the rest of the game. It's the second half, the defense just, I don't know, something just sparks in them and they just, come alive, and it's just like it kicks up to a whole other level. And it's really cool to see.
It's like I'm sorry to interrupt. It's like being a teacher, seeing kids' eyes light up when they get it, learning how to complete a math problem or solve a science project, right? It's similar as a coach, because coaches are teachers, right? So you see that excitement in their eyes. So go ahead, continue.
Yeah, definitely. And what's even cooler is when the kids want to turn around and come up with their own play and actually get to execute it in the game. And that's always awesome to see too. And like I said, Coach Mike and I have definitely had a lot of fun. We're a very small team. Right now we've just crept up to about, I think here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We just tabbed 21 kids total.
Eighth grade.
We started 8th grade, and we started literally with just 13.
Yep.
So
I remember the phone call like it was yesterday.
It's gonna be tight.
Bodine, we only have 13 kids. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna make it work?
Yeah, it's gonna be some Iron Man football.
Yeah,
this is gonna be something else.
Well, listen.
When school started, the kids actually, when school started, the kids themselves actually went, talked to a lot of other kids, and all of a sudden, boom, here we are with 21 kids. So we're really happy with that. It takes a lot of pressure off of a lot of the other kids who have been trying to play both sides of the ball, and the exhaustion, you can just tell, they're just like, okay, we're tired. And when that happens, usually you get injuries that also happen. So you got to be really careful with stuff like that. So we totally are. And it's right now, like I said, it's nice to have that comfort level where we can mix and match kids.
Well, listen, don't bury the lead. What's the name of your team? The name of the school, the county you're in, the state you're in, all of it. Come on now.
Yeah, in Vermilion, Ohio, here we are the Vermilion Sailors. I know you and Bo are just itching on looking for the merch, so I definitely sent you your link for Mr. Zabo there, so you guys can turn around and get your merch.
That was more Joe than me, but okay, I'll fall on the sword since she's not here and she's playing injured. Okay.
Yeah, it is. We are just a town, just a little over 10,000 people. So a nice little small town right off of Lake Erie. Just awesome. I mean, and since I had to even move this summer, I definitely wanted to make sure that Bryce himself, he got to stay in the same school district and go to the same school since he's been there since he started kindergarten. So that was very important to me. And the town itself is just a very small knit community. And that's, the best kind, I think. And it's really pretty slick. So like I said, I really enjoy it here. The folks are awesome all the way around. And like I said, my son, who's in 6th grade, he as well is also football, baseball, bowling.
Oh, he's all everything. We've talked about Bryce on this program for a year. He's all world. This kid is going to be great at whatever he does and whatever he decides to focus on as he gets older. We're looking for big things from this kid. He's going to be. We're excited about him because he's awesome. He's definitely awesome.
And I told him, I said, you don't have to be great and try to, he's trying to be great at everything. And I said, I like the passion on that. I said, but you don't have to be great at everything. Just do your best on what you want to do. So whatever he wants to play and whatever he decides what he wants to do, when he wants to stop doing it, he stops doing it. We thought he was going to stop playing football a couple of years ago. And after chatting with a few of his friends here in Vermilion, he turned around and said, okay, I'm still going to play. And I said, all right, that's fine. We'll turn around and we'll let you play. But I said I wasn't going to be hurtful if he quit playing anything between football or baseball, whatever you want to do. I mean, like I said, I didn't get too many opportunities myself, so I'm just trying to make sure that he gets all of his opportunities and, whatever he'd like to do. Definitely
he's all world at bowling, so that's a no-brainer. So let's talk about the incredible story that you can share about the young lady who's playing on your team.
And at the moment, she actually had to go see the trainer today because between the shin and her knee, there seems to be a little bit of an issue. So she's actually getting I believe she was getting a brace this evening. So she's been playing a little bit of the offensive line as well as on the defensive side, playing outside linebacker for me. And you can see even though she's came in late, didn't get right in right off the bat, through the late summer conditioning, she jumped right in. It was about week 2, I believe. So she still needed to, get her feet wet and getting to understand, the formations and what was going on. And she took the books home and just studied it up. And she's just like, all right. And if, and with any of the kids, if they had questions, all the kids ask. It's like, all right, what do I got to do here? And, we're right there to help them out. I always told the kids, I said, there are no stupid questions. Now, granted, this week they tested me a little bit much on that. And I was like, okay, that is a really stupid question. Take off, go, run, see ya. No, can't deal with that, But no, it is awesome. It is not the first time I've actually had any girls on a team before. Even when I was working with the YMCA, we constantly had a lot of girls that would come out and play football. So this isn't the first time that I've had the opportunity to coach young ladies playing football at all. And generally, they're usually the ones, just like with basketball, they really stick to the fundamentals and really follow through and execute them very well. So, as a lot of them being wide receivers primarily for me, this one here, she's all about wanting to hit somebody. So I said, all right, more power to you. No problem at all. We'll let you hit whoever you want.
Well, I like when you called me up, a few weeks ago and told me about her, and we talked about, a number of things. But I also liked when you told me how the guys reacted, how they accepted her, how that that building of relationships, the way sports is supposed to works, and that's a good thing.
Yes, and that was one of the nicest things ever to see, is that any of the new kids actually who even came in, some of them are still asking, 20 questions, and some of the players and especially a few of them have helped her out, as she's in that position where she may substitute that particular guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's even explaining, well, I always, he's given a few secrets. He's like, I'll sneak in over here or cut in here, or I'm going outside here and cutting in this way, hitting this gap, inside, outside, watching, the lineman. So, everybody's been, it's like, all right, she's just one of the guys, and just, all right, are we ready to go? Let's go. And it's one of the, it's like, yourself, it's a brotherhood primarily, up on the upper levels. The city of Amherst, the next town over, they have a high school varsity girl kicking their field goals, and she kicked the first field goal in school history for a woman to turn around and score football points a few weeks back. So guess what? It's happening more and more, and it's good. It's a good thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is.
Absolutely. What was I going to say? There's lots of female football programs out there, semi-pro, pro. We're associated in terms of Coast to Coast Network. We're associated with one out west, I believe it's in Oregon. And so yeah, it's all about diversity, equity, and inclusion on all three levels, giving folks an opportunity, and not even giving folks, presenting an opportunity for those who want to take advantage of it. Bottom line, it's just that simple. If a female wants to play with all females, she has that choice in some scenarios. And if she wants to play with the guys, hopefully there are schools across this country that are allowing that to happen. And it's a good thing. So I'm glad that we had the chance to talk about it tonight. So congratulations. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's also nice to see in the NFL.
Yeah.
The NFL is finally, we've got one of the coaches on the 49ers and one on the Buccaneers, and it's awesome to see. We now have a few women referees.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Sarah Thomas. Maya, forget her last name. Forgive me. There's now 2 NFL women referees. So
and
yes,
and there are a lot more women on professional football teams right now. I can think of the Jets, to add to the ones that you described. The Jets has a female coach. I'm pretty sure.
The Browns have a woman in the front office.
So, I mean, yeah, there's even a female. Isn't the Buffalo Bills majority owner, a woman? Yeah, I think so. So, we're making progress here. There's progress being made all around. So it's a good thing.
And
it is definitely a good
thing. We know that, hey, if they may be kickers, it doesn't matter. We've got a lot of college programs that are starting to, what is the terminology? They dabbled with it. It's like, okay, well, guess what? It looks like there might be some more dabbling. And it's like the more dabbling we get, the closer we get to having them in the NFL.
Well, listen, we can parlay this conversation just shortly to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. He's coaching at an HBCU and in Jackson, in Mississippi, Jackson State, and most people who aren't familiar with HBCU schools might be surprised if they tuned in and noticed that there were white players on his football team. And I got to tell you, I have a good friend, and I won't name his name, but he said to me, I didn't know black schools let white kids come to their school. And I was like, have you lost your mind? I said, just because things happened in the past, in other words, two wrongs don't make a right. Just because people of color was prevented from attending predominantly white institutions in the past doesn't mean that HBCU schools are going to hold a grudge and not allow white kids who want to come to their school to attend or play a sport. So Deion is a perfect example because he's more popular in terms of HBCU coaches, right? But he's got probably, and I don't know the exact number, but I know just by watching, he's got more than a handful of kids on his team that are white, and they're perfectly happy. They're having a great time. You know why? Because they're winning, right? Yeah. Winning is the ultimate, right? It's the ultimate common goal. It's the ultimate recipe. It's the equalizer, right? Winning. Kids want to play. They want to win, and they're going to go where they have a chance to play and win. And so, and then he and his coaching staff, and he has white coaches on his staff as well, they just want the best players. They don't care what color they are or where they're from. They just want the best players so they can elevate that program and win. And he's doing a great example of it, showing a great example of it.
Well, and that's the one thing that Mike and I are definitely trying to, is we're, teaching we have got a lot of kids that they've never played football in their lives. And a couple of these guys in particular, when they got on the defensive side of the ball and I said, hey, you just shoot this gap right here and have at him. And he's just like, really? And I said, yeah. They're like, all right, I love this. They coming up to me after the game going, Coach, I really like playing that spot. Can I do it again? Sure, no problem. We'll let I'll make sure you're slotted in there next time too. No problem at all. Like I said, last week's game, super tight. It literally came down to the last minute. And as Willard was driving on us pretty good and down to the 3-yard line, and we just happened to have a few people make just some awesome tackles and plays, and one of our guys making an interception on 4th and goal in the end zone. And, it's just like, wow, to get the monkey off your back on that one. It's just, it's nice to have. And like I said, I told the kids tonight, I said, it's been great that we've spent our past couple of games. We've literally held them to no points. I said, let's try to put that together for a whole full game, 4 quarters. And, let's try to, let's make that a goal, let's make it a good goal, something to strive for. So, and I told him, I said, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but let's try for it. Why not? Coach always tells Coach Mike says, dream big. He says, if you dream it, he says, anything's possible the next day. I believe him.
Here you go. Well, congratulations on the first win. And
definitely, hopefully, the first of many more. We've got 4 more games to go.
Just win, baby. Just win. All right. So let me jump into a couple of acknowledgments. One of my fellow alumni, author out west. Listen, I know what it feels like as an author to have people say they're going to read your book or say they're going to promote your book or say this, that, and the third, and they never do. So as soon as he sent me a text asking me to promote his book on the show, I said, no problem. Absolutely. just tune in so you can see me actually do it. So, Randall S. King, author, title of his book, The Color of Hate. And I normally, most of you have heard me say I don't like using that word, but in this context, I'm going to use the word. And if you are a reader of books and you want to read something that enlightens you or inspires you or educates you, check out The Color of Hate by Randall S. King. He's a Villanova alumni and fellow author, so I wanted to put that out there. And then the next book I'm going to recommend is someone who I am collaborating with. He is a coach. He's a former player. He is a college adjunct professor, Dr. Timothy Felton, and he's written 3 books. His latest book is From the Hood to Being Hooded. And I actually have the book and have read the book. And basically, to give you a quick excerpt, it's really about his experience regarding education, growing up in what everybody would call their neighborhood, but culturally, people say the hood, right? It doesn't matter where you're from, you say my hood. Yep. To being hooded, meaning he graduating, earning his master's degree, then earning his PhD, right? And so it's a great book. I look forward to doing lots of collaborations with him. And I hope he's tuning in tonight. And we've got a lot of plans. And so check out those books, folks. Check out those books. I'm sure you can pick them up on Amazon, or any of your online book retailers. Just look them up, pick them up, check them out. So now that I've done my house cleaning, let's get to the sports, baby. Let's get to the sports. We've got Aaron Judge, 60 home runs, tied Babe Ruth, one more to tie the overall record, and then one after that to hold the record. He's on fire.
Yeah, being that I live in Cleveland, it's like, can't stand the Yankees worth the darn. But, when you see somebody going for, the true home run record like this, you have to get excited about it. You really do. It doesn't matter what team they play for. It's you want to see somebody do it. It just makes it that special.
And so far, he's a good guy. He seems like a good guy off the field. He seems like a really good guy on the field as well. He doesn't get into any pushing and shoving and things of that nature. So, well, you know why? He's a big boy. He's 6'7". Who's going to mess with him?
Oh.
I mean, he's a big dude, right? He's a big dude. So, so we wish him well. I'm definitely following it. And then Albert Pujols at what? Is he at 698 or is he at 699?
Well, actually, let's see what the live count says. I know that they are playing at the moment.
Oh, is he? Okay. Well, he's on the verge of breaking 700. So he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's had a great career, so we wish him well.
Nothing yet. And in fact, Judge has hit 61. And
really?
Yep. Woo! He has hit 61.
Nice. I'll be looking for those
the Yankees
highlights.
Are up 7-2 in the bottom of the 8th right now.
Okay.
And Pujols, Texas is leading them 3-2 at the moment. So, but yes, he has gotten 61. So he's got that one. Now it's one more to go. 2 to break it. So
nice. Well, listen, we wish both those guys well, and I'll be watching those highlights soon as we log off tonight. But let's get into the NFL, brother. Woo! What a weekend or week of football. I'm going to start with the best game that I saw, which was the Miami Dolphins versus
the Ravens.
What an incredible game. They put up over 1,000 yards combined. Tua, the Miami quarterback, put up over 450 yards passing, 6 touchdowns. And Jackson had a great game, and he wasn't even the best quarterback on the field that day. I mean, Jackson had a great game as well. It was a 67-yard sprint for a touchdown. Nobody could catch him. Looking like Michael Vick, right?
Yeah, and Miami's defense just came alive in that fourth quarter. I said, hey, I've seen this defensive scheme before. And all of a sudden, a 35-14 lead at the beginning of the fourth quarter just disappears.
Oh, that's why American football is the greatest sport on the planet. It just is incredible. It really is. I'm telling you, you could think you think you're out of it. Your team could be losing by 28 points, and all of a sudden the momentum changes, swings in your favor. You get a pick, you get a turnover, and it's the momentum shifts, and next thing you know, hey, you're on a roll. So that was the best game by far of the week. The next game I want to talk about is Tampa Bay versus the Saints. Now, that's not a big game. It's a rivalry game because those two teams don't like each other.
Mm-hmm. And Tom Brady does not like the stingy defense.
I
love the fact that they have his number literally.
They do. They have for many, many, many years. And so I knew it was going to be a feisty game, and it turned out to be a feisty game. Matter of fact, the wide receiver got suspended. So
not enough. I'm sorry. He came off. He was off the field on the bench, and he came back out. Once you are off the field, you are off, and you come off the bench. I'm sorry. One game I don't think was enough.
Now is that the rule?
And you attack the player from behind.
Now listen. Is that a rule in the NFL, or is that a rule that we're confusing with the NBA that you can't come off the bench?
It's with the NFL too.
Okay.
Once you are off, because they were going off. This is a fourth down, so they were going off. They weren't going for it.
Oh no, he was definitely.
And Tom Brady was just, jaw jacking again because he's getting frustrated. And the Saints are like, "Yep, we got you all day," and all of a sudden, here comes Evans hitting Lattimore from behind. I'm sorry. I think one game wasn't enough. I think it should have been 4.
Wow,
it should have been a 4-game suspension.
Woo!
Yeah, because
that's a quarter of the season, G.
It doesn't matter. You cannot sit there. Like I said, you're coming off the bench. But then you also get the guy from behind. He doesn't even see it coming. I'm sorry. If you did that out in public, that's battery.
Yeah.
That's assault and battery. Sorry.
Well, that 1-game suspension is going to hurt them because he's a valuable player. Who do they have this week?
This week the Bucks have the Packers visiting.
Oh yeah, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to hurt big time. And then
definitely going to hurt.
And they get the Chiefs next week.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. So that was a feisty game. I knew that was going to be a feisty game, and it turned out to be such. The next game doesn't seem like it should have been an exciting game, but because of Nova Nation, Villanova's history with Joe Flacco when he was a quarterback at Delaware, I have to mention that dude dusted the cobwebs off and pulled out a victory that I did not see coming over the Browns. Did you see that coming?
As soon as I saw Ward and Delpit sit on the defense, yes, I knew exactly what was coming. And I said, for the second week in a row, the safety has blown it for the Browns. And they literally almost had it blown against Carolina, and it bit them against the Jets. And literally, Bryce, after Chubb had scored the other touchdown, and Bryce said, "Oh, the Browns are going to win," and the Browns were only up by 7. And I said, "No, there's still a lot of time left." I said, "I've done this. I've watched a lot of games." I said, "Until the clock's 00 and the ref says the game's over, it's never over." So when Chubb scored, Chubb scored the second touchdown, he goes, "All right, now they've won." And I was like, minute 37. I'm like, I was like, well, they can go down and score us, as then they'd have to get the onside kick and then score again with no timeouts. Who does that? Well, apparently Flacco, and the Browns playing prevent defense. And what does prevent defense? It
prevent you from winning
the game.
Yep. I'm telling you,
I don't want to ever have. It's like, oh, just go ahead and sink back. No. You hit the gas, you drop it into 5th gear, and you go. You don't hold up. You don't let up at all.
What's funny is Flacco has this Eli Manning-ish type of personality. They don't show, exciting emotions and things of that nature. It looks like they're asleep. But these guys are surgical. When they get hot, they're on a roll.
And we haven't seen Flacco do that in the past couple of years. And he's been bounced around to multiple teams after he left Baltimore. And I just thought, man, what happened to him? And to actually see it happen this past weekend, it's like, okay, there it is. That's the Flacco that you knew from Baltimore.
Oh, absolutely. And listen,
it's like there he is.
Again, we played him at least 2 or 3 years in a row, because that's our rivalry game at Nova, Delaware. I mean, we're only 20 miles from each other, maybe 28. But we had his number. We beat him 2 out of the 3 years. So we got Flacco's number. But by the way, the point is that I've seen this dude. He can ball. Somebody hit him with those, what do you call those, in the emergency room when they rub those two things together, and
paddles,
the paddles, and somebody shocked him, brought him back to life. And maybe Tom Brady and his longevity is causing a positive effect on some of these older quarterbacks, saying, hey, if I can stay healthy, if I can get in better shape, maybe I can stay an extra 2 or 3 years and get an opportunity, because there's some terrible quarterbacks out there, right? Flacco, in this game last week, Flacco may have given himself an opportunity to be a starting quarterback next year somewhere.
Well, that's just the thing. It needs to be the correct system.
Yeah.
If it's
no
not
question.
the right system, it's not going to look good. Let's take Russell Wilson, for example.
Yep.
He does not look comfortable in Denver's system right now.
Nah, he needs time. He needs time. Remember when Peyton Manning went from the Colts to Denver? It took him a little while to get comfortable, even though it was more about his injury, recovering from his neck surgery. But it took him a while as well. And remember, Denver, you can hit a pitching wedge here in Philadelphia area 150 yards. Well, I can hit a pitching wedge 150 yards, right? But in Denver, you hit a pitching wedge, that's 200 yards. You got to get used to the elevation and how far the ball goes and all that kind of stuff. And so, I have faith he'll get it right. He'll get it right.
It's going to take a little time.
It's going to take a little time. Yeah.
But the other one that's actually hurting is actually Matt Ryan.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I literally I understand, Colts versus Jags. It's both coaches coached the Eagles to a Super Bowl.
Hold on.
Peterson.
I gotta put my Jags. I gotta put my hometown Jaguars hat on. Go ahead.
Both Peterson and Frank were there for Philly
Yeah.
together and went to the Super Bowl. So to see them go head to head, I knew it was going to be pretty low scoring. I knew it would be a defensive struggle, but I thought for sure Indy would put some points on the board.
Well, he looks lost. Matty Ice looks lost.
Agreed.
So if anybody can turn it around, it's Frank Wright. We'll see if he can. He obviously gave up on Carson Wentz after 1 year. That's why Carson is in Washington. Who the Eagles play this coming. I think we play them this coming weekend. Yeah. And so, So it was good to see the Jags win, my hometown team, and that coach who helped and was a part of the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. Felt good. And I think they're going to put it this way. The difference between the coach they have now and the coach they had last year is like night and day.
Yeah.
Right? Urban Meyer,
I said
night and day.
This is a real football coach.
Yes.
As much as when things started last year, it looked like, okay, can we see a college coach, and especially being an OSU coach, who thought, all right, he knows how to deal with the players. He's very personable. Let's see what he can do. And then when everything came out, it's just like, wow, what a mess that totally was. So when we saw that it was Doug Peterson, it's like, okay, here we go. He walked into Philly, took him a couple of years, changed up the program, went to the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. All right, Trevor Lawrence, guess what, buddy? Hang on, you're going for a ride, pal.
If you can win in Philadelphia, you can win in Jacksonville, because the media is not the same. The audience, the folks in the stands are not the same. We know Philly's a tough place to play, even for the home teams. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine down there. The next game, let's move on to the next game. Just real quick. Nothing spectacular about this, but again, there's a Jacksonville tie-in. Mac Jones from the Patriots won against the Steelers. I did not see that coming. I did not have that picked. I
did.
You did?
Yes,
So kudos from Mac Jones, also from Jacksonville. Good win for him. Bad loss for the Steelers.
On one pick, one show I picked him, and the other show I didn't pick him. So it's like, oh, it happens. But yeah, it's like, I did on a solid pick on a what do they call the survivor picks?
Okay.
And I picked the Patriots. I was like, oh, okay. I looked back at my sheet and I went, oops, on the podcast I picked the Steelers, but on where it counted, I picked the Patriots. I was like, hey, all right. It was a great accident.
Well, let's talk about
what a good game.
Oh, no, it was a really good game. Really good game.
His sophomore year, I hope he does not get the sophomore slump. I want to see him. I want to see him progress more this year. I want to see him progress more. I mean, yes, I understand Josh Daniels isn't there, and you're literally playing roulette between three coaches for your offensive scheme. It's going to be hard. Yeah,
but Bill Belichick's a great coach. He'll figure it out. Next game, Seattle versus San Francisco. The only thing that's interesting.
Bryce is still upset about that loss.
Oh.
Hey, listen, Russell may have moved on to Denver, and he may still move with him, but he still loves his Seahawks. He's still got DK and Tyler and DJ Dallas over there, and he's still a Seahawks kid. And when he saw the score, just like a little video game, the 49ers, I'm sitting there going, hey, my squad's racking it up on you. And they said, well, Trey Lance was out and Jimmy Garoppolo's in. I'm going, oh, geez. Here we go.
Well, listen, Jimmy G is a better quarterback period.
Yeah.
Lance is a young guy. He needs reps. It's a good problem to have when your starting quarterback goes down and your backup can win the game. So
I
let's
wanted the
see.
49ers to take Mac Jones, and I was very disappointed when the 49ers took Trey Lance. I wanted the 49ers with Mac Jones.
Well,
but hey,
I think they're lucky that they still have Jimmy G, because he's
Agreed.
gonna play well, and you don't lose anything. So it's a good problem. Unfortunately, it's a good problem to have.
Yep.
Next game is the Raiders versus Cardinals, which was a wild game. How about that game? That kid from Arizona, that quarterback from Arizona, I'm telling you, he's outstanding. I mean, did you see he literally had 10 seconds just standing in the pocket, moving from left to right, and then decided, okay, let me just run this extra 2 points in. Did you see that play?
No, I saw the highlights, and I just couldn't. I said, wait a minute. Why the Raiders defense was no joke, and they got to play Kansas City, and they literally suffocating Patrick Mahomes. It's like, wait a minute. I totally had the Raiders blowing out the Cards by at least 15 points, and that wasn't happening. I was like, what the heck happened?
Nope. They put their big boy pants on, and again, the quarterback,
16 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
the quarterback defense, prevent defense.
Yeah, the quarterback for Arizona again has a different type of personality, right? But apparently, the guys in the locker room can deal with it. And so they've got a young head coach who's innovative. They'll figure it out. But that was a wild game. I am a Raiders fan. Wrote about it in my book. Matter of fact, I need to promote my book before the end of the show.
Yep.
So I'm a lifelong Raiders fan. But the Arizona is that was an amazing game, and I look forward to more games with this kid putting a stamp in the league that he's going to be a good quarterback. So he's still young. We'll get there. The final two games I want to talk about is the Monday night games, Bills versus Tennessee. Listen, I agree. The Bills is 1A, Kansas City is 1B, and the Eagles is 1C in terms of the order of rankings. But the Bills are just outstanding. These guys are balling. Their quarterback, he is leading that team. He's not afraid to drop his shoulder and run over a linebacker. And Tennessee, we know, likes to give you a heavy dose of their running back. Well, Buffalo shut him down. So I'm telling you, the Bills, they look pretty darn good.
Well, the Bills right now, I'm just keeping fingers crossed that they can make it to the Super Bowl and win that bad boy. Because as of from last year, for the next 4 years, it's the 30th anniversary of the Bills' 4 Super Bowl losses.
Ooh.
Yeah, 91, 92, 93, and 94. So,
well, the players don't have anything to prove, but the organization has something to prove, and the fans won't forget it. So it all really becomes full circle. It's something that's going to be talked about. So they're going to have to deal with it, and that pressure can start to mount up. So,
and especially because they keep making to the AFC Championship games, and it's like, you don't want to go to 4 straight one of those and not make it. It's just like, come on, guys, you got to get to that next level. Got to get over that hump.
Well, listen, I've never been a Buffalo Bills fan when Jim Kelly was the quarterback. I watched the Bills, when I was a kid, obviously. But
I think the fourth one, I was really hoping that they would finally try to do it.
Well,
So
they were playing.
you got,
They were playing.
you got
They were
four chances. After the fourth one, it's just like that's it. Nope.
now.
Just
Now, didn't they lose 2 to Cowboys and 2 to San Francisco, or was it 3 to the Cowboys and 1 to San Francisco? Oh, the Giants was one of them.
Giants was one.
Cowboys was at least 2. At least 2. Yep. So, and maybe the 49ers would have been that other team. So, yeah.
I don't think it was the Niners.
Nope. All right.
Um.
Well, while you're looking that up, let's talk about the Eagles and the Vikings.
The Redskins.
Oh,
so they had
Washington.
The Giants, the Cowboys, and the whole NFC East.
NFC East
kicked their butts.
There you go. That was back in the That's what back in the 80s when the NFC was the best, division in football. Yep. And then the NFC, no, the NFC conference was dominant. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, now I've shifted to my Eagles hat. The Eagles played really well. The defensive coordinator, who was getting all kinds of zingers on talk radio, finally stepped out of his comfort zone, blitzed the quarterback, put pressure on the quarterback consistently, didn't play prevent defense, let these guys play their game of football, and you see what happened. Interceptions, sacks, and Minnesota's a good team, right? Minnesota is a good team.
Yeah.
For Minnesota to put up 7 points, that was okay. Crazy. That's crazy. And so the last football game I went to, pro football game, was when the Vikings came to Philly. It was on a Sunday it was a Sunday afternoon game. And that was the last game I went to attend. It had good seats, by the way. Shout out to one of my boys, Eric Basso from New Balance sneakers. So the Eagles and the Vikings have some history, and they shut that wide receiver down who was full of noise, and the Eagles look pretty good. I think they're the third best team in the league, the best team in the NFC conference. How do you have them ranked?
No, and even before the season started, they said that the Eagles would have been a top 5 defense this year.
Okay.
After week 1, it was kind of like, okay, a little suspect. But then, against Minnesota, said, all right, it's time to, hey, wake up. And everybody still forgets, because the new way of the preseason and how it has to go with 3 games. You are not, nobody, until week 4 happens, that's when everybody's getting into a groove.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's when I think the season basically starts between weeks 3 and 4, because that's when everybody's finally getting it, or should have it get clicking.
It's a 4-quarter season, right? Mm-hmm. You got the first 4 games, the second 4 games, the third 4 games, and the final 4 or 5th game, right? Boom. That's how you do it. You got to figure out, you come out slow, but you got a chance to make up for it in that second 4-quarter, that third, fourth, and then that final quarter, you push to get into the playoffs. So the Eagles look really good. Talk radio was pretty good in the city.
I was going to say
they could be tough.
First, yep.
They can be tough. So, and like I might have said this in one of the posts that I posted on that Lorain County Facebook page. The top 5 football states in this country. Number 1 is Florida. Number 2 is California. Number 3 is Texas. Number 4 is Pennsylvania. And number 5 is Ohio.
Yeah, hey, all I know is we're still number 1 in bowling.
Well, listen. It's been a great show. Let me shout out these books again to my partner in crime that I'm getting to know, and we're going to build a great relationship on the speaking circuit. Folks, go get this book by Dr. Timothy Felton, From the Hood to Being Hooded. And then my Villanova alumni, his book, The Color of Hate, Randall S. King. He's out west. I think he's in California. Two good books, great books. Go pick them up and listen. Can't miss talking about my book.
That's
all right. My book's still available. I've got some good news to share in the next couple of months as we get close to the holiday season. I'm teasing it now. I am not going to tell you all about it, but there's some good news I have to share. Like I say, I'll do it during the holiday season. It's some exciting news that happened recently. So, yeah, I look forward to sharing that information. Hey, we want to thank all those who visited the program. I know our fearless leader, TB12, #1 fan. Hopefully, I haven't had a chance to check my phone because I'm on the program, but I hope she sent a text saying that she's all right. She just got a splint and not a cast on her arm. So we'll check in with her after the show to see if she's okay. George,
definitely, Joe. Yeah, definitely, Joe. It's like, hopefully you are okay, because I mean, like I said, right now we've lost one of our players. He broke his arm in the last game. So our number 77, we definitely, he finally came back today and, has got in his sling. And so, the last thing you want is, you don't need Joe in one either. She's got to be able to, hit the keyboard and, make sure she's got the comments going left and right,
Awesome. Well, we want to thank our fearless producer, Chris B. Bacon, who's a standout, the guy who makes this thing happen, especially that Joe's not here, because they kind of work in tandem sometimes, or most of the time, because I'm just here yapping. I don't do anything behind the scenes. I am not a tech person. I don't know how to do any of that tech stuff to get people in and out and on and shoot me this, that, and the third. I'm clueless. I'm just here to talk. So I appreciate
it. Trust me.
Well, G, thanks for coming. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for being here the entire show. I know it wasn't originally planned, but and thanks for sharing that human interest story about your team and your players. It's a good thing. They've got a good coach, a good coaching staff. Again, hang in there, and we wish you guys well.
Thank you.
For all you folks out there who are used to Joe shouting you out because of the questions you may have, again, Joe's not here tonight, so we're somewhat limited, but we appreciate you tuning in. Matter of fact, Dr. Felton just shot me a text saying that he was watching the program. Randall shot me a text saying, I think he said he was watching the program as well. So I'm sure there's others out there. My Irish twin says she couldn't find it, but maybe she's just busy. I have no idea, but we'll figure that one out. But anyway, folks, have a great, today is the last day of summer, first day of autumn tomorrow.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, so, we get 60 degrees for our game time at 4:30 in the afternoon tomorrow in Oak Harbor. So it is first full football weather game. I am looking forward to it. Nice, cool air. It's football weather time, sir.
It is football weather time. Yep. So have a great weekend. Some great sports to be had. And we will see you on the sunny side of town. Have a good one.
Go Sailors.